Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged the European Union to tighten sanctions on Russia, warning the country could attack other nations after invading Ukraine. In a speech to both chambers of the Czech parliament via a video link, Zelensky reiterated calls for the EU to allow Ukraine to start on the road to membership of the 27-nation bloc by giving it candidate country status. Meanwhile, the Russian Ministry of Defense has said its forces have destroyed a munitions store in Ukraine's Lviv region, where weapons transferred from Western allies had been stored. In its daily briefing, Moscow's military said precision long-range missiles were used to strike the facility in the west of the country. Israel and Egypt will aim to boost natural gas exports to Europe under a memorandum of understanding as the continent looks to replace Russian energy imports. Israel's energy ministry said the framework deal signed with the European Union will be the first to allow significant exports of Israeli gas to Europe. Under the agreement, the EU will encourage European companies to participate in Israeli and Egyptian exploration tenders. Officials say they expect shipments of LNG from Egypt to Europe to increase under the agreement, although they have said it would likely take a couple of years before the exports can be significantly expanded. The EU Commission President said it was a big step forward.
This is a big step forward in the energy supply to Europe, but also for Egypt to become a regional energy hub.
The Home Secretary has said the UK government remains committed to sending asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda, and plans for future flights have begun.
Madam Deputy Speaker.
Speaking in the Commons, Priti Patel defended the policy and said the court ruling was disappointing and surprising. It's after the first flight was cancelled minutes before the flight was due to take off on Tuesday evening after a late intervention from the European Court of Human Rights.
These repeated legal barriers are, Madam Deputy Speaker, very similar to those that we experience with all other removal flights, and we believe that we are fully compliant with our domestic and international obligations, and preparations for our future flights and the next flights have already begun.
Eyewitness video shows a car getting hit by falling rocks driving through Yellowstone National Park while trying to leave through the park's north entrance.
Whoa.
The footage shows huge rocks and boulders only narrowly missing the car. It's after record flooding and rock slides prompted park officials to shut down all 5 entrances to Yellowstone, marking the park's first disaster-related closing in summer since wildfires roared through the area in 1988. Major sections of the park's northern half are expected to remain closed for the rest of the season. Rescuers in central India have managed to pull a 10-year-old boy out of a well after being stuck there for around 5 days. Huge crowds gathered as the boy, who authorities identified as Rahul Sahu, was brought above ground on a stretcher. He had fallen into the 60-foot well in his village in Janjia city. It took rescuers from the National Disaster Response Force over 100 hours to pull him out. During the operation, he was provided oxygen through a pipeline by rescuers. According to the Janjia district magistrate, Sahu is currently undergoing treatment in a hospital and is stable and fine. Crowds have gathered to witness what's known as a strawberry supermoon after it rose behind an ancient temple on the coast of Greece. The second supermoon of the year, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac, so called when the moon's orbit is closest to the Earth, makes it appear larger and brighter than a regular full moon. June's full moon was called the strawberry moon in relation to the ripening of strawberries in June. And BTS fans have been reacting to the news that the South Korean boy band will be taking a break.
힘들었을 거를 생각 안 하고 너무 욕심만 부려서.
Many in South Korea reacted with shock and dismay at the news, while the unexpected announcement fueled anger among investors, which went public 2 years ago and whose shares plunged 25% on Wednesday, wiping $1.5 billion off its market value.
무슨 얘기를 해야 될지도 모르겠고.
The group told fans during a televised dinner celebrating their anniversary that they would be pursuing solo projects. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.